Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Redmen TV and your latest episode of Oppo Preview. My name is Dan Club. I'm delighted to be joined by a man who played over 100 times for West Ham and a former Welsh international, Jack Collison. Jack, my friend, how are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks for having me on. Looking forward to the game this weekend, actually.
Yeah, I can imagine it would be. I mean, pressure's off really from a West Ham point of view now. Let's talk about the Hammers and how this season's gone. Because obviously, not the start anybody might have imagined, hoped, or expected. Spent a decent amount of money last summer, made the managerial change. I mean, what have you made of it really? Because Graham Potter got an instant reaction really in terms of the results and the performances. Got better. It's dipped again. Yeah, tell us what your thoughts have been.
Yeah, I think it's been one of them. I think there was a lot of excitement, obviously, when Lopetegui come in, start of the year. As you said, some really exciting additions, but it just didn't seem to work, didn't seem to click. And yeah, as you said, I think a change was definitely needed at the time. And obviously, Graham Potter with a great CV, not just in terms of results, but style of play. And I think anyone who knows what West Ham are like, they'd almost sometimes sacrifice results for an exciting style of football, front foot, aggressive, trying to score more goals. Do you know what I mean? So I think when you first come in, you see a slight change, and it's almost now, I think with the bottom three obviously so far adrift, the top 10 points away, it's almost, I think, getting through to the end of the season, give Potter a chance to kind of assess his squad and hopefully hit the ground running next year.
Yeah, I think that's right, isn't it? And you said it there, really. Obviously, West Ham fans, you had the success under David Moyes, but maybe that became a bit stale and they were sort of yearning and craving that, I say, that more attacking, free-flowing, aggressive style. Lopetegui didn't really bring that to the party. I think Graham Potter will definitely bring more of that. But yeah, like you say, I think the fact that you're now clear of relegation, you're not looking over your shoulder, means that I hate the term on the beach when it comes to footy, and you'll probably hate it as well, being a
Yeah.
performed professional player. But he can't help but think when results do just start to tail off inexplicably, maybe there is an element of that. In terms of sort of the players at West Ham, there's a few injury absentees for the weekend. Mikel Antonio, he's been a big miss for a while. Aaron Creswell, I really like. Crysencio Somerville as well. But in terms of key players, Jack, I wanted to ask you, and he plays in a similar sort of position that he used to play, sort of attacking midfielder, trying to create from that department. Lucas Paqueta, how good is he?
Oh, he's incredible. I think you look at when he first come in, he was, for me, one of the most exciting players, not only in West Ham, but in the league. And it's difficult sometimes when you hit them heights so early on and you're getting linked with other clubs and that. And obviously with the betting scandal going on a little bit as well, where's his head been at? But hopefully he can kind of get past that. I don't think he's contributed this season as much as he probably would have liked to. You're almost looking for him to kind of kick on and go again. But he's one who's very much in the mould that the West Ham fans just instantly fall in love with. Does amazing stuff off the cuff. He scores goals, plays with that bit of edge, and very similar to the likes of Payet, Di Canio, the guys that the West Ham fans just fall in love with. So I think it's a really important period for him now, between now and the end of the season. So when you talk about certain players being on the beach and things like that, for him, it's important he sort of nails down, gets his head down, and contributes with a few more assists and goals, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. West Ham love a Maverick, don't they? And there's two more I
Yeah,
want to touch on just quickly. Mohamed Kudus and Jared Bowen as well. Again, I think in a similar sort of boat, really, similar sort of vein, both very, very talented footballers. I think Jared Bowen more recently has sort of regained his form of what we've seen previously, but maybe had a slow start of the season, just like the side did in general. But again, two brilliant players.
yeah. I think for me, you look at West Ham, obviously Jared Bowen with the captaincy now. He really is the heartbeat of the team, and I think when you think of a player who just epitomises West Ham, someone who works hard, gives their all every week, but has got that little bit of quality or ability to unlock teams, Jared Bowen's obviously very much in that mould. Still scored 8 goals this year, and I think his injury come at the wrong time for Potter. Obviously, missing them few games was just when it was starting to click a little bit, and then he has to come out for a few games. But seems like he's captured his form a little bit last few weeks. And he's one of them as well who seems to really sort of relish and thrive in the big games. So I'm sure this Sunday, especially with it almost being a free hit for West Ham, he's going to be sort of up and ready for it. And obviously Kudus again, probably similar to Paqueta. He's a bit of a slower season. I think he's only scored 4 goals this year. But when he's on and he's at it, he's just incredible to watch. He's strong, he's quick, he goes past people. So now I think the biggest challenge for Potter between now and the end of the season is finding the ways to best fit him in his sort of formation and how he wants to play, and obviously where he can get the best out of his key men. And he's got a little period now between now and the end of the year to work out. And if it's not to be, these are obviously players who are going to be sort of high in demand elsewhere as well. So it's a really big sort of last couple of months for West Ham.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be a fascinating watch as well, because, like you say, I think all of them would have suitors elsewhere. Maybe the Paqueta scandal and sort of the circumstances might put a few off, but I think Kudus and Bowen would definitely be highly sought after, as you mentioned, and worth a decent amount of money as well. With that, you mentioned sort of big occasions of Jarrod Bowen thriving in them a moment ago. I wanted to ask you about the Anfield sort of factor, because I've seen you played at Anfield in 2013 under Sam Allardyce, a 0-0 draw actually. You played against like
classic,
I mean, Sam Allardyce was manager, Jack. What did you expect? Jordan Henderson, Steven Gerrard, Jamie Carragher, Philip Coutinho, Luis Suarez on the pitch for Liverpool. Obviously, West Ham had their own superstars and their own sort of players as well. But yeah, in terms of Anfield, in terms of the occasion, how big is it? Is it a factor? Do players talk about it? Does it matter?
Yeah, it's incredible. And I never forget one of the first times I ever travelled with the first team. I think it was about 17, and travelling with the first team squad and not quite making the bench or nicking on the bench here and there. And I just remember going to Anfield, and honestly, I think it was a night match, so the atmosphere is always a little bit more. And I actually didn't make the squad that day, so I'm sat in the stands watching. I actually got my phone out filming. I thought, this is incredible. But going back to that game in 2013, I don't think West Ham had won there for 50 years or something. 0-0 classic, and I actually had a header cleared off the line. I thought, it would have been great. But no, it's a special place. It's iconic, and I think any football fan, and even for me now out in the US, just know about that intense atmosphere. And I think the worry for West Ham this week, obviously with the good news about Salah, you can imagine he's going to be licking his lips. I think he scored 2 in the reverse fixture, didn't he? But could have had 10. So yeah, no, it's going to be a difficult one this week, but I think that atmosphere really plays into, and hopefully the West Ham boys can just see it as a free hit and go and enjoy it.
Yeah, well, just on that there quickly, I'll ask you sort of your opinion on how Potter might approach this, because you said there it's a free hit, but I do think from a Liverpool perspective, we've had a bit of a wobble. The Carabao Cup final was massively disappointing, the PSG exit likewise, and the form hasn't quite been it since we returned from the international break. But as you say, Salah boost, we're expecting a Van Dijk boost as well. So all of a sudden, the Premier League title's on the horizon, our best 2 players are staying, the mood's changed a little bit, but from a West Ham perspective, how do you think Potter will go for it? Will he look to be adventurous and play that front-footed style that you mentioned?
Yeah, I think for your boys, you're always going to get a little bit of hangover, but now it's probably right. Let's enjoy the rest of the Premier League season, do something special, score as many goals as possible, and start focusing now on what's to come sort of next year as well. And obviously tying down Salah's massive. I think for Potter, what he's done really well is he's come in, he hasn't tried to change everything too quickly. And I think if you look at the focus, it's really been on that foundation, that base, that defensive sort of shape and structure. And I think what you'll find over the coming weeks and the next few games, he's going to have the opportunity now to really, as you say, be aggressive, be on the front foot and press and go after teams. And I think eventually what you'll find is it will be where he's trying to find these moments where they go man for man, where they really step on the gas. And as you said, with them exciting attacking players that he has got at his disposal, it's just trying to find a way for him to really flourish and really express himself. So I hope they go there and go after it. Obviously sitting 16th in the league isn't great, but Tottenham are only 2 points ahead, and we play Tottenham in a couple of weeks. So I think that will be a very sort of realistic target to try and finish above Spurs, because it's nice to have bragging rights for the fans as well.
Yeah, I can imagine it will be. I can't relate because we always finish with Everton, Jack. So I can't relate to that, to be honest. Top man, thanks so much for your time. Before we do go, what are you up to now? You're over in the US, you say?
Yeah, just for me, I come out to the US 5 years ago. So I've been coaching out there, Atlanta United, Nashville, and just got a new job now, sort of building a new pro team that'll be coming in the next year or so. So yeah, it's been great. But it's been nice for me. I've been back this week. Got to spend a little bit of time at Brentford, which was good. So seeing Thomas Frank and how he works and goes after things was obviously great for me and sort of my education. And yeah, keep chipping away at the coaching and see what happens. It'd be nice to sort of return one day and get out of the London Stadium and try and put a team out there who are gonna really impress.
I love it. Absolutely love it. I love Thomas Frank as well, so I'm sure you had a good time with him. Jack, top man, thanks so much for your time once again. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Take care. I'll see you soon.